Everyone talks, everyone shares, everyone explains. But the smartest people, they do something different. They stay quiet at the right moments, and that silence, it's their secret weapon. While others waste words, true winners master the art of staying silent. They understand what most people never learn. Sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful thing you can do. Niccolò Machiavelli knew this secret better than anyone. This Italian thinker from 500 years ago wrote about power and control. He said something amazing: people judge by what they see, not what they feel. Most folks show everything and reveal nothing that matters. But the wise ones? They keep their cards hidden. Today, everyone overshares. We post every thought, every plan, every feeling. But this is a huge mistake. While everyone else is busy talking, the real winners stay quiet and win. Machiavelli lived when saying the wrong thing could get you killed. Today it's not that dangerous, but talking too much still hurts you in ways most people never realize. Every word you speak creates problems that silence avoids. First, when you talk about your plans, you trap yourself. If you say you'll do something, people expect it. Change your mind. Now you look bad or dishonest. Stay quiet about your plans. You can change course without anyone questioning you. Second, too much talking shows your weaknesses. The more you explain, the more you reveal how your mind works. Smart enemies can use this against you. Machiavelli said you can judge a leader by the people around them. Same way, you can judge someone's smarts by how much they unnecessarily talk. Third, and this is huge, talking too much makes you ordinary. Machiavelli wrote, "It's better to be feared than loved." Fear needs distance. Distance needs mystery. The leader who explains every choice becomes boring. Boring people can't command respect like mysterious ones can. Think about this in real life. The person who talks in every meeting loses impact over time. The friend who shares every detail online becomes predictable instead of interesting. The person making deals who fills quiet moments with offers gives away their power. The leader who answers every criticism makes the critics look important while making themselves look weak. Machiavelli would see our need to be transparent and share everything as a bad strategy. It's giving away power for free without getting anything valuable back. Real strategic silence isn't just staying quiet. It's a planned way to communicate that changes based on what you want to achieve. There are three main types that actually work. The first type is silence that gathers information. Machiavelli said, "The wise person does right away what the fool does too late." The fool talks first, showing their hand while learning nothing. The smart person stays quiet at first, letting others expose their thoughts and plans before deciding what to do. This creates an unfair advantage. While others reveal their thinking, you collect valuable secrets without giving anything back. In negotiations, this is why whoever speaks first usually loses. In relationships, this is why the person who listens more often understands what's really happening better than the constant talker. The second type builds your authority. Machiavelli knew that power depends on how others see you. Being quiet at the right times can make you seem more powerful. He wrote, "A leader must copy both the fox and the lion. The lion can't protect himself from traps, and the fox can't defend himself from wolves." The fox's cleverness includes knowing when talking makes you look weaker instead of stronger. This works because people naturally fill empty spaces with ideas that often help the quiet person. When a leader only speaks about big issues instead of every small problem, their words carry more weight. When someone only responds to criticism when it really matters instead of defending every little thing, they look confident instead of scared. This explains why the most powerful people in any area typically speak less but more carefully than people below them. The nervous new worker talks too much. The CEO makes short, clear statements. The insecure person explains everything. The secure person states facts without needing to justify them. The third type keeps things unclear on purpose. Machiavelli said since it's hard to be both feared and loved, it's safer to be feared when you can only pick one. This idea works for all situations where keeping multiple meanings helps your strategy. Staying quiet about your exact position lets others think what they want to think about where you stand. By not being too clear, you can appeal to different groups who want different things. You keep your freedom to act by not promising specific things. You protect yourself by not clearly supporting any particular view. Politicians master this by making statements vague enough that different people hear what they want to hear. Good negotiators use it by avoiding clear positions too early. Leaders use it by sharing their vision without limiting how it gets done. In each case, strategic silence isn't lying. It's understanding that being too clear too early often hurts instead of helps your goals. Beyond just being smart tactics, staying quiet has psychological effects that talking can never achieve. Understanding these effects shows why silence often works when trying to convince people fails. First, silence creates spaces for people to fill with their own thoughts. Human minds automatically try to fill empty information spots, often in ways that show their own worries instead of reality. When you stay quiet at key moments, others project their fears, hopes, or guesses onto that silence, showing their position while you keep yours hidden. Machiavelli noted that people are simple and follow immediate needs, so someone trying to trick others will never run out of victims. Using silence strategically takes advantage of this tendency without needing to actively lie. This explains why skilled questioners use silence instead of questions to get information from people who don't want to talk. The discomfort of silence makes the person want to fill the quiet, often revealing more than direct questions would. The same thing happens in negotiations, where the side that can handle silence typically gets better deals than the side that nervously fills pauses with offers. Second, silence establishes who's in control of the conversation. The person who speaks first, most often, or longest subtly puts themselves in the position of seeking approval from listeners. The person who speaks less, more carefully, or only after others have committed to positions takes the judge's role instead of the beggar's role. This explains why job candidates who ask more questions often do better than those who talk more about themselves. It explains why the quiet person in meetings often gets more serious attention than loud participants. It explains why respectful silence in fights often works better than emotional arguments. Third, silence creates mystery that makes your power seem bigger. Machiavelli observed that people judge more by what they see than what they can actually touch or feel. What can't be fully seen or understood often appears more impressive than what's completely exposed. The person who reveals everything, their thinking, reasons, fears, plans, becomes ordinary. The person who reveals things carefully keeps an element of mystery that makes their abilities seem greater. Modern culture often treats being transparent as always good and silence as suspicious. Just be authentic, we're told. Share your truth. Communicate openly. But this advice, while meant to help, goes against Machiavelli's insights about power and influence. He wrote that promises from the past become problems in the present, recognizing that tying yourself to old statements often hurts current interests. The modern obsession with transparency demands exactly this kind of tying yourself down, limiting future actions to serve present authenticity. This isn't about being dishonest. Machiavelli's approach wasn't about lying, but about choosing what to share, revealing what helps your goals while keeping private what doesn't. He advised never trying to win by force what you can win by being clever. Today, this might mean never trying to win by unnecessary sharing what you can win by strategic silence. The transparency trap shows up everywhere. At work, it appears as sharing work before it's ready, voicing half-formed opinions in meetings, or revealing your negotiating position before understanding the other side's limits. In personal relationships, it emerges as sharing emotions too early, unnecessarily confessing past mistakes, or giving detailed plans that might still change. Machiavelli would see these behaviors not as being authentic, but as strategic mistakes that give away power without getting equal benefits back. The transparent person becomes predictable, easy to manipulate, and ordinary, qualities that hurt rather than help influence. This challenges today's communication rules that equal talking more with being more valuable and sharing with being authentic. The Machiavellian communicator speaks not to express themselves, but to achieve specific goals. How can Machiavelli's silent strategy work in modern life? It's not about never talking, but about developing the discipline to speak only when talking serves your goals better than staying quiet. First, practice information inequality. Before sharing your position on anything important, make sure you understand others' positions first. Ask questions instead of making statements. Listen for what's not said instead of only responding to what is said. This approach proves especially valuable in negotiations, where understanding the other party's real limits and priorities often matters more than explaining your own. It works equally well in workplace situations, where knowing colleagues' concerns and motivations before taking positions prevents unnecessary conflict and enables better influence. Second, cultivate strategic vagueness. When being too clear would limit your options too early. This doesn't mean being confusing on purpose, but keeping flexibility by avoiding unnecessary specifics. In leadership situations, this might mean sharing vision and goals while leaving how-to details open for changes. In personal relationships, it could involve expressing commitment to shared goals while keeping flexibility about specific paths. In competitive situations, it would mean keeping strategies private while opponents reveal theirs. Third, develop comfort with silence as a power position. Most people feel uncomfortable with silence in conversation and rush to fill it, often revealing more than intended or making unnecessary concessions. Training yourself to embrace these moments instead of filling them creates significant advantage. In negotiations, this shows up as allowing silence after stating your position instead of nervously weakening it. In conflicts, it appears as listening completely to criticism before responding, rather than interrupting with defenses. In leadership, it emerges as delivering decisions without unnecessary explanation, trusting the decision to stand on its own. Machiavelli's silence strategy doesn't mean never speaking. It means speaking only when speech serves your objectives better than silence. The master of this approach doesn't keep complete secrets, but creates a strategic difference between what gets revealed and what stays private. He observed that most people are taken by appearances, and the world consists mainly of regular people. In a world where most people reveal everything, those who practice selective sharing stand apart. Their words carry greater weight precisely because they're chosen more carefully. Their positions create more interest because they're revealed more strategically. Their influence grows because it's used more wisely. This approach requires discipline that's increasingly rare in today's culture. It demands the patience to listen before speaking, the restraint to hold back even when sharing feels temporarily good, and the strategic awareness to recognize when silence serves better than speech. These qualities don't develop naturally in a world that rewards constant expression, but they create advantages precisely because they're uncommon. The final irony of Machiavelli's silence strategy is that its most successful users remain largely unnoticed. We notice the loud, the expressive, the transparent, while the masters of strategic silence achieve their objectives without drawing attention to their methods. They shut up and win while others are still talking about winning. Perhaps this explains why Machiavelli himself, despite his enormous influence on political theory and strategy, remains widely misunderstood. His name has become connected with ruthless manipulation, yet his insights reveal a deeper understanding of human psychology and power that goes beyond simple ruthlessness. He recognized that influence doesn't always require force or lies. Sometimes it requires simply knowing when to stay quiet and let others reveal themselves. In an age of information overload, opinion overflow, and compulsive sharing, Machiavelli's silence strategy offers a surprising path to influence. Say less, observe more, reveal selectively, and let your results speak louder than your words. In the endless competition for attention and power, those who master this approach don't just participate, they prevail.